welcome to What Are You Reading, a podcast with the Public Library of Mount Vernon in Knox County. My name is Christie.
And I'm Katie.
And this month, we decided to do something a little fun and a little lighthearted since we took you guys into the depths of despair with our poetry discussion last episode.
Yeah, and our dark academia. I think we did dark academia this year, too. So
we've definitely been in our feels, and you can probably tell. We've definitely been listening to a lot of Taylor Swift Torture Poets Department. But we decided to try to lift ourselves up, lift our spirits up, and embrace the new season and spring and summer coming. Mm-hmm. So we decided to pick some light romance and some like fun beachy stuff to just, brighten our spirits a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I think it worked. Now, I had I'll get into this later, but I struggled, and I will explain why soon. But my choice was One Night on the Island by Josie Silver. And I do have really poor eyesight, and luckily for us, the library has an amazing large print section. Mm-hmm. So I was able to grab the title in large print. We also had it available as an e-audiobook, so I was also able to check out a copy and listen to it. So whenever I got tired or my eyes got a little sad and heavy, I would turn on that audiobook and enjoy hearing the story where I left off from reading the physical copy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What did you pick?
I picked The High Tide Club by Mary Kay Andrews. I also checked out the large print copy, but I ended up listening to it.
Nice.
I have a long commute, so I figured it was a better chance of me actually finishing the book in a timely manner.
Yes.
If I listened to it, it was very good. Mine has a little bit of a mystery twist to it.
Ooh.
So, yeah. It's, yeah. So it opens with 4 young women standing over a man's grave. Mm-hmm. A man, he's in the grave, and they are shoveling the dirt over him.
Oh my gosh.
So what's up with that?
Oh, right? What a way to open the book, right?
Yes, and that part takes place in the 1940s.
Okay.
America had not gotten in, it was 1941. So America is not in the war yet, but will soon be. And it does go back and forth between the two time periods. The present day has one of the women is now 99 years old. Her name is Josephine Bettendorf Warwick.
Ooh.
Yes, very fancy.
Fancy.
So, and she owns her family, and she's the last of her family, owns an island that's off the coast of Georgia, and she didn't have any children, so she's getting to the plate, and she was diagnosed with terminal cancer. Doesn't really play into the story other than the fact that the clock is ticking.
Yeah.
So she has this young woman who is an attorney, single mom, trying to make it on her own with her own law practice. So she calls her, and her name is Brooke. Brooke goes to the island, and Josephine is like, this is what I want. And then the rest of the story is like starting to reveal what happened in the past, as well as like how things are going to work in the present, because the state is trying to take over the island.
Uh-oh.
And Josephine won't sell. She's like, that's not enough. And they want to make it into a park and a marina, and like make it this like And she's like, no, she's a naturalist at heart, and so is her husband.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, but we want to leave the animals alone.
Yeah.
So so that's what Brooke's job is, to set up a trust for Josephine's 3 best friends or their heirs if they've passed.
Mm-hmm.
So she's in the middle of that. She has a 3-year-old. Brooke has a 3-year-old son. Her baby daddy is kind of coming back into the picture. There's a conflict of interest. So Brooke finds out that she can't actually do some of the things that Josephine wants her to do, because Brooke's mother is actually a descendant of one of Josephine's friends, and therefore a recipient of this trust.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The High Tide Club is the 4 women used to, every time they were together, and it happened to be a full moon, they would go skinny dipping in the ocean.
Oh.
Whatever location they're in.
Uh-huh.
So often the island, but also because they're all well-to-do families, it's like, oh, well, in Connecticut or where someone else's summer home is, they would go skinny dipping naked. Well, same thing. They'd go skinny dipping and, have a good old time.
Mm-hmm.
So that comes into play, and there are lots of secrets that are...
It sounds like it. I mean,
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in this, but it does sound like it was a fun read.
It is a fun read. There were a couple of things. There's some unlikable characters that I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. There's also a little bit of cringiness because on this island there is a group of there's an African American settlement there that they used to own. It was given to them after slavery ended, but they had been selling to Josephine's family throughout the years, and now they just rent the land that they used to own.
Wow.
And also one of the 4 women is African American, and sometimes it was kind of like a little bit like she was their toy. But at the same time, it was totally innocent. It's just like me in 2026 is like, ugh.
Yeah, in 2026, looking back on 1941, and the time jumps that occur into the book, yeah, I mean that is a tough thing to read about, especially when you feel like someone is being abused and having to deal with racism. It's tough. It is tough to read about.
Yeah, and that you wouldn't even necessarily think about it because, I mean, they were just being kind to her. And what was her name? She was being raised by a single dad and only had brothers. So, like, it stands to reason that they would be like, well, we'll take her under our wing. But when we go to the present, that woman's grandniece is like a African studies professor.
Okay.
And she comes in hot.
I bet. She's like, hey.
It's like, your family stole our land.
Here's what's
like,
going on.
Yeah. And it's like, and you're just a hateful woman. So,
so there's a lot to deconstruct there as well.
Yes, there is a lot to deconstruct there as well. Because her aunt is like, I'm just really sad that my friend is dying. So,
yeah.
Yeah. So it was
So it was actually a bit complex as well.
It was for a beach read, it was very complex. I've read Mary Kay Andrews before, and there's always some feels and some secrets, but it seems like this one especially was like but that's why I couldn't stop reading it. Because just when you think you're starting to get things moving, it's like, oh wait, here's another piece.
Ooh, yeah.
So yeah, highly recommend. It's funny. It gets you in your feels.
I like that.
And ultimately, it's a happily ever after. So.
Yay! That is awesome.
So if you could just go through, it's like, this is a roller coaster.
Yes.
But by the end, we all will be fine.
Yes, just hang on for the ride.
Yeah, and it is a very good ride.
That's great.
Recommend it. Mary Kay Andrews in general, but especially the High Tide Club.
Awesome. I love that. As I mentioned earlier, I struggled, you guys. And I'll tell you why. So, again, my choice was One Night on the Island by Josie Silver. And the premise for this novel is that we are following Cleo, who is a columnist from London. And she is celebrating her 30th birthday. She's just had a not so great romantic relationship that ended not fun. And she has a secret passion to become a novelist. But she feels like that's the dream of every newspaper person or columnist. So she's not really confident about sharing that with people. And because of her mental state, everyone at work has noticed that she's kind of in a funk. So her boss says, hey, why don't you go to this awesome Irish island, this little place off the coast of Ireland. There's a honeymoon cottage there, and you could maybe write a column about, for your 30th birthday, marrying yourself. So like take yourself out on a honeymoon, get to know yourself and treat you the way you would want to be treated by someone else. Well, Cleo thinks this is ridiculous. But she does think that, this might be a nice little getaway to this gorgeous honeymoon cabin and get some seclusion. And maybe, just maybe, she'll talk herself into writing this novel. Well, this is a romantic comedy, so it just so happens that Mac, who is trying to trace down his family roots, he's from Boston, has decided to come to Ireland to follow his family tree. And his family happens to own the cabin. And they have been double booked.
Oops.
Yeah. So what we have are two very strong personalities. Mac is got a lot of soul searching to do. He has a very unfortunate situation going on with his marriage ending and having a child. So he's, looking at being a single dad and figuring all of that out. And so he's really trying to find out who he is as well. Both of them are not interested in meeting another person. They have booked this vacation specifically to isolate themselves from the world. So their initial meeting is not awesome. They are both trying to pull rank as to who should get the cabin and who's going back on the ferry. Well, come to find out, of course, the ferry only comes once a week. So you're kind of stuck. So there's lots of strings that try to be pulled that just don't work, So, of course, they end up sharing the cabin. And over the course of this week, they start to learn a lot about each other. It is very funny. So there are a lot of little things here and there, of like really cute, like, oops, I, fell into the mud puddle and, and he just walks right by you, those kinds of things. And, until they kind of break down each other's exterior and we find out what's really going on with both of them. So I struggled with this because they were both grumpy. You always have that trope of like the grumpy sunshine, which we love. And I'm very used to that. And so I wasn't used to the fact that they were both like, I hate you, So I was like, oh man, I don't know if I'm going to like this. So the first part of the book, I struggled until we really started to break through the ice. And then it became just a lot of fun. And I really enjoyed it. And of course, it got a lot lighter. And it is a romantic comedy, so it is very cute and fun. And I won't spoil it for you, but we find out a lot about the island. We find out a lot about his, ancestry, hers as well. And we get to see this little budding romance between, a dude from Boston and this London girl there in Ireland. So it is a lot of fun. It'll make you jealous about the details of this luxury cabin that is in Ireland are just insanely awesome. So I was definitely jealous that I wasn't there too. But I understand. So maybe one day I'll get there too. But I thought Josie did a great job with making some really lovable characters. But I'm not going to say it was easy for me to get into them just because of what I was expecting. But once I did, I really fell in love with Cleo. I think she's awesome. And it's wonderful to have your main character be 30. Now, I'm 42, so I'm much older. But I will say that so many romance novels have a younger person as your protagonist. And while I love that, I think it's amazing. And of course we want inclusivity, but it is really nice to read about somebody that, is tackling those ideas of like, later in life, and 30 isn't even later in life, so, but having your character be 30 and dealing with all the pressures that come with turning 30 and wanting to maybe change your life a little bit or redirect a little bit. So I found that stuff to be extremely interesting. And I, as well, have always dreamed of, writing a book, being surrounded by them all day. Makes you kind of inspired. So I really connected with Cleo, and I wanted to see her succeed. So I thought that was awesome. And I did end up really liking it. The audiobook is great. I loved that a lot. It was super fun. So if you have a chance to listen to it, definitely recommend that. And of course, the large print is awesome. Super easy to read, really gentle on my eyes. So I always recommend that if at all possible. Some people don't prefer it, but I do. So, I always let people know that is always an option. Well, thank you guys for joining us. We had a great time this one. Yeah. I wasn't sure I was going to, but then once I gave it a chance and opened my heart, just like Cleo and Mac, I came around. So, well, guys, thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next month with our summer reading program. So make sure that you stop by. Actually, Friday. Stop in and sign up, because signups begin for our summer reading program Friday, May 29th. So if you are local here, please stop into the library and get signed up. We're going to have amazing prizes, amazing events going on all summer long. So please join us. We're going to have a lot of fun, doing some dinosaur history and all kinds of fun stuff. So join us for that, and look forward to the next podcast. Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye.